Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be watching this video. My name is Justice, and I want to welcome you to the Onyx Fashion Academy. Okay, welcome to my channel. If you've subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. And if you've not subscribed, please do so. We're going to have more videos, very educative and informative. Okay, today in this video, we're going to talk about the tape rule. Here, we all know the tape rule, but a lot of designers or aspiring designers, those who wish to do one or two things with the tape, do not know how to read the tape rule. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to accurately read the tape tool, both the inches and the centimeter. Even some professionals, so should I put it that way, people who have been sewing for a long time, find it difficult to read the tape in cm. If you have anything you're drafting for them, they will tell you to convert it to inches. So is it difficult to read in cm? We're still going to find out. All right, so catch you, stay to the end. Alright, welcome back. So here we have the tape rule, and we're going to use the tape to show how to read or count the tape rather than drawing a different line altogether, so that once you have your tape, you can follow along and get to know what we're talking about. I hope the video is so clear enough. Okay, so looking at the tape, this is the inches part of the tape. This part is read in inches. So we're going to keep it as simple as possible. So we have some big numbers here. We have 1. I assume that 0 is invisible. Here starts with 0, although the 0 is not written. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down to 60 if you have the tape that stops at 60. And there are also some longer tapes that get to 120. That's if you're measuring someone that is so big. But we're going to use the beginning of first and second inches to know how to count the tape, since all the lines we have here is still what we have in other lines. Okay, so beginning with this one, we'll start with 0. From 0 to the big number 1, we have 1 inch. To 2, we have 2 inches. To 3, we have 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, down to 60 inches. So assuming you want to measure someone and you hold your tape and then it stops at the number 11, that means what you're working with is 11 inches. If it stops at 10, you're working with 10 inches. But what happens when it stops at the lines that are in between? How do you identify it? The big numbers are not the issue. The small lines in between the numbers are where the problem usually lies. How do you count them? Now, looking at this, we count 0, 1. The first small line you see there, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the tropical number, the whole number you have here, becomes an inch, which is supposed to make it the 8th number. So once you have 1 to 7, all you have to do is to mark 1/8, because the last line we have here should be number 8, even though it's occupied by a bigger number, making it a whole number or an inch. So from the first one we have 1/8, the second one we have 2/8, the third one will have 3/8, down to the last one. So here we have all the number 1/8 to 8, 3, 8, 4, 8, 5, 8, 6, 8, 7, 8, and the last one 8/8. Now, how do you identify this number? We're going to divide them. For those that are able to be divided, 1 divided by 8, it cannot work. So we leave it at 1 over 8 that it is. Now we have the second one, 2 over 8. Can it be divided? Yes. 2 divided by 2, we have 1. 2 divided by 8, we have 4. And in mathematical terms, what do we call this? 1/4, right? So this is how you get 1/4 of an inch. Now 3 divided by 8 cannot work, so we still leave it at 3 over 8. We have the fourth one. 4 into 4 will give us 1. 4 into 8 will give us 2. So here we have 1 over 2, which is equivalent to half of an inch. All right. Then we have 5 over 8 cannot be divided, so we leave it as 5 over 8. We have 6 over 8. Can it be divided? Yes. 3, we have 6 divide, we have 3 and okay, so we have 2 into 6 will give us 3 and 2 into 8 will give us 4. So we have 3/4 of an inch. 7 cannot be divided into by 8, and the same here becomes the whole number. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, whichever one, but we're using 1 inch. Okay, so we're here in this line, we have 1 over 8, we have 1/4, we have 3 over 8, we have half an inch, we have 5 over 8, we have 3/4 here, we have 7 over 8, and then we have whole number 1 inch. It could be 2 inches, it could be 3 inches, depending on what the where your measurement falls. So whatever line you have here is still the same thing that you're going to have in between 1 to 2, the same thing you're having in between 2 and 3, the same thing you're having in between 3 and 4, and so on. I hope it's making sense. Okay, now there are instances where you have to use your calculator to do a calculation, and it comes out in decimal. Usually calculators comes out in decimal. So this figures has also been converted in a way that it has a decimal form. In case you're calculating and it appears in decimal, you know how to make use of it or even approximate it. So 1 over 8, which we've calculated before and see that it cannot be divided, the decimal is equal to 0.125, right? 0.125. So whenever you're dividing and you come across 0.125, you know you're going to talk about the first small line of your tape rule. The very first small line gives us 0.125. Now we have 0.25, which is 1/4. That is 0.25. Okay. Then we have 0.375. 0.375 gives us 3 over 8. That is the very third line of your tape rule. Then we have 0.5, which is the half inch. Okay, 1 over 2 half inch, which is this bigger line in between the lines. Then we have 0.625 equals 5 over 8. Okay, which is this line after the big half inch in the tape rule. The next one becomes 5 over 8. The fifth line gives us 0.625. Then we have the sixth line, that is 3/4 of an inch, gives us 0.75. So whenever someone is talking and saying measure 0.75 in your tape rule, it is the same as 3/4. All right. Then we have the next one, 7 over 8, which is the line before the whole number. We have 0.875, gives us 7 over 8. Then we excuse me, then we'll get to number 1 or number 2 or number 3 as the case may be. I hope it's understandable. Okay, now for other lines you can have 1 1/4. This is a whole number, knowing that from here to here is an inch, so you can count 1 inch and 1/4 following the next line. 1 inch and 1/4. Okay, 1 inch and 1/8, or 1 inch and one line, 1 inch and anyhow how you want to put it. 1/8, one line, and all the rest of them. 1.5 inch, 1 3/4, 2 inches, and it goes on and on and on and on. You can equally use your tape rule to do some calculations, some simple calculations like addition, multiplication, subtraction, and the rest of them. You can use your tape rule to do it where your calculator is not handy. In fact, it will give you the more accurate calculation based on what you're calculating. If you find it difficult to approximate in some cases, your tape rule can give it to you more handy. Assuming we want to say 6 inches plus 6 inches in terms of multiplication rather, all you have to do is to fold your tape on the 6th inch that you want to multiply. This is the 6th inch. You fold it, and definitely it's going to stop at 12 inch. So 6 plus 6 has given you 12 inches. You can equally want to um multiply 6 into 4. You still do it the same way. 6 into 6 will give you 12. Okay, this is the 12. You fold it over again, and that's 12. Okay, now 6 multiplied by 3 has given us 18, because what we have here is 1, 2, 3. That is 3 into 6 into 3, right? So we have 3 lines here. It has given us 18. Then when you fold it over again for the 4th time, it's giving us 24. Okay, so depending on what you want to calculate, your tape rule can always come handy to assist you. Now, still using the 6 as an example, I want to divide 6 into 2. All I have to do is to place the edge of the tape on the 6th and form a grease line. So wherever the grease line stops, stopping at 3. Okay, this is the grease line where it is folded. That gives me 6 divided by 3, divided by 2 rather, and this is 3. You can equally divide it again, assuming you still want to divide it, and wherever it stops, that is it. So 3 divided by 2 again, it's giving me 1.5. I hope we understand something from there. So we can divide our 6 into 4, and we still have an answer. I will divide it into 3, and we'll still have a very correct answer. So now talking about the centimeter part, centimeter it's not read differently. You can still read it the way you read your inches. You can convert inches to centimeter, convert centimeter to inches conveniently without having any issues. It's very simple. The trick is very simple. All you have to do, assuming I want to measure 2 inches, convert it to centimeter. All I have to do is to fold at 2 inches, fold it very well. This is 2 inches. Now turn it over. Wherever that 2 degrees line is, that is equivalent of the centimeter. So it falls on 5, and 5 cm is the same as 2 inches. Okay, I want to convert from centimeter to inches. The same thing, I want to convert 2.5 centimeter to inches. What is it going to give us? Let's find out. Okay, so here it is, 1 inch. 2.5 centimeter is the same as 1 inch. So if you're reading a tape, if you're measuring something in centimeter and you find it difficult, rather than waiting for someone to do the conversion for you, you can do it by yourself and move ahead. Okay, you don't have to wait for anyone to show you how to convert it. So just fold your tape over to wherever you want to convert, and then you have it there in inches. The only thing is that centimeter has more tiny lines in between, which equally makes it more easier for you to count whatever you want to count. Okay, the lines in between are up to 10 or even more, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's up to 10. It makes it easier for you to count whatever you want to count. So the big line here is the whole number of 1 cm. The small bigger line in between equals 1.5 cm, then followed by this 2 cm, 3 cm. Always know that the bigger line in between, just like we have half inch in between the inches, gives us half inch. The bigger line here gives us half cm. We can still count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to the last one. 9 and the 10th one is the bigger line. Okay, so when you want to say 1 and 1 and 1.5 cm, 1.9 cm, 1.8 cm, it's easy for you to count up to that. But if you find it difficult to count in cm, just fold it over and you get it in inches. I hope that is clear enough. Okay, so I hope from today that you make you will find it easy and convenient to count your tape both in inches and in centimeter.